Okay, total game content-wise, that actually was the biggest direct of all time in Nintendo history. However, if you were somebody who was wanting some surprise out of left field announcements that nobody saw coming, maybe you had more to be desired outside of a couple of those, and that's understandably so, because this direct took me on something of an emotional roller coaster personally. Very high start off with kicking things off right with the Mario 40th anniversary direct. It was literally 20 minutes dedicated entirely to Mario, and we learned about a lot of new projects there, and some previously leaked stuff that we've talked about here on the channel actually checking out as part of that presentation. And you know, there's going to be kind of a laundry list of different things we're going to have to revisit following all of that. But also, we go into the regular direct, and there is a lot of resource gathering, farming, simulator type games, cozy type of games, if you will. Didn't do a ton for me. Then we got into some really high points with learning the release dates of different games we want to know about, and we closed out with probably a game that many people wouldn't have predicted to be a show closer, but this is Nintendo we're talking about here, so I want to break down all my thoughts and feelings around this direct and the roller coaster ride it took me on, and the fact that we have Virtual Boy coming to NSO with a legit Virtual Boy accessory that Nintendo will be selling for this thing. So there's a ton to unpack. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And we're going to go through line by line of the major announcements, and right out of the gate, we got the reveal and a first trailer kind of look at the world, at least, of the Mario movie, which is called the Super Mario Galaxy, or the Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie, which is awesome to see Nintendo play on that nostalgia. And then, of course, one of the big ones, big announcements out of this entire thing for me was the fact that the Galaxy 2 remaster rumor was true. It is coming to Nintendo Switch 1. It's playable on Switch 2. It's a combo pack of Galaxy 1 and 2, and it's actually out October 2nd, so you do not have to wait long for this collection of games. Now, if you're somebody like me, you're probably going to realize you already own Galaxy as part of the 3D All-Stars collection, but we were missing Galaxy 2 this whole time, and it makes more sense for Nintendo just to throw Galaxy 1 in with this as a collection pack, so you can play both games together if you didn't buy the Mario 3D All-Stars collection. But you might see a little bit of a decrease in the amount of value this game has to you at probably a $60 price point is what I'm imagining it will launch at if you already own Galaxy 1. I will be curious to see if this has some kind of performance upgrade for Switch 2. They didn't confirm any of that, but I would expect it to be a 4K resolution game after the performance bump and everything, but we will see on that. Mario Tennis Fever is out February 12th, and that's another game as part of the 40th anniversary celebration. I'm surprised they went back to tennis personally. That is the first Mario sports game we saw launch on the Switch generation, and they are repeating that. I would have guessed baseball, but this one does look cool, and the big thing that stuck out to me about the trailer from it, not only the visual style and everything definitely being upgraded for the modern processing power of the Switch 2, this has an adventure mode in it. It's kind of strange because apparently you go back in time as baby characters of all the characters, but you have to progress through, and just these sports games having a single player mode that you can enjoy and progress and complete outside of the multiplayer appeal for them is actually a big deal for me, because that's sometimes how I find myself really getting into these things, at least, you know, getting the core gameplay loop and mechanics down by playing through some kind of adventure mode. I like to have that as an option, and that is here. Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition is a legit project, and it's coming out spring 2026. It has the Bella Bell Park co-op mode, which this to me just looks like they took Mario Wonder and they did indeed turn it into like a family fun multiplayer type of game, because you have modes where you can compete against each other, co-op play where you're like passing a bob-omb around the entire time to try to reset the counter and not have the bob-omb go off but make it to the end of the stage. And they did say they were going to be teasing more stuff for this Switch 2 edition to come down the line, so I actually think it's going to be a pretty beefy game in terms of new content. And if you don't already own Wonder, you should just get it. You're probably going to have an upgrade pack to this. I'm surprised it's not coming out during the holiday season, but we had previously talked about Nash Weedle, and shout outs to them. They had a lot of things right that other people weren't reporting on. The Talking Flowers were supposedly recording new voice lines. We covered that in a leak video in the lead up to this, and sure enough, we're getting Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition, and it's going to be out spring 2026. This was one of my big all-time favorite 2D platformers, so definitely a hype announcement for me personally, and I will be picking this up day one with the additional content. The big surprise closeout for the Mario portion of the Direct was indeed a Yoshi game, and I couldn't wrap my mind around that at first. I really thought we might be getting a first sneak peek at 3D Mario. That said, while Yoshi games are definitely more, let's say, kid-friendly and easy and difficulty and stuff like that, I still have a ton of nostalgia for Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, and Yoshi's Story, and this is right up that alley. I actually really enjoy this particular art direction for it, as opposed to what we've seen them do in the past with things like Yoshi's Woolly World and stuff like that. I like this a lot more. It looks like you're literally playing on the pages of a book, and there were some really unique stylized things that Nintendo can do now in the Switch 2 generation that we just haven't seen them do visually before. So this was an exciting one for me, and it will be out spring of 2026. So we are learning about a lot of 2026 games at this presentation, which will basically carry us through all the way until probably the February Direct that we will see Nintendo hold next year. And that was the end of the Mario portion of the Direct, but then we did go straight into the regular Direct. This was truly a combined presentation, and we got Storm Lancers out of the gate as a shadow drop available today on the eSIM. Dinkum, a farming sim resource gathering game, one of many, is out November 5th. We had PopUcom next. I don't know where they're getting these game names, but Holiday 2025, it looked like a Splatoon style game, but more puzzle based, and you're working together with other friends and stuff. Very color / shooter cartoony style game. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream was up next, and we had not seen this game since March of this year with the initial 2026 title card on it, and we did actually get the release date for it of spring, or not release date rather, but release time window of spring 2026. So we know it's an earlier into the year game. This is going to be a big one for Nintendo Switch 1 because it's Nintendo kind of supporting that family of systems. It'll be playable on Switch 2, but they definitely made it a focal point to be a part of the Switch 1 lineup of games. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection did get its official release date, and we saw this for a few different things where you actually had different release dates for digital versus physical. This is no exception to that. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection will be out October 30th digital and December 12th physical. And the one thing about the physical edition for the Switch 2 is it's an on-cartridge experience. That's how I will be picking up this game and collection of classic Mortal Kombat games personally, but it is like $10 more than all the other editions because they're likely passing on the cost of the extra bigger cartridge to the consumer in this case, but I would rather have it on cartridge, so I will be picking up that version personally. Final Fantasy VII Remake got its release date. In my head, I thought this was definitely going to be a 2025 title. I guess that wasn't confirmed up to this point, but we don't have to wait too much longer for it. January 22nd, 2026 is when this game will be out, and that's actually good because there's going to be a little bit too much to play on the Switch 2 towards the end of the year for me to get through. Link Bannered of the Sparkled was another shadow drop for the eShop that was revealed. Hades 2 got a sick marketing overview promotion trailer, definitely cool cutscenes that are going to be in this game, and they did show some nice snippets of gameplay as well. This is out September 25th, so very soon. It will be out December physically, but digitally literally this month, and it has 120 FPS support specifically in TV mode for the Switch 2, which is absolutely massive. If you're into roguelite action adventure games, this is definitely going to be one you'll want to look into. I am personally hyped for it and will be checking it out on the channel with you all here. Kirby Air Riders, if you can believe this, after the 40-minute direct that we got from Mr. Sakurai, apparently he needs to tell you a lot more about this game still, because we got the confirmation that an additional Kirby Air Riders Direct will be coming to us, and I don't know if they confirmed the date of that Direct or not. I missed it in my notes. I do not need to see more of this game, another 30 or 40 minute presentation personally. I'm just ready to pick it up and check it out, but Sakurai really likes to get into the weeds and explain why they did certain stuff and the reason behind the mechanical choices that they made from a gameplay perspective, and no doubt we'll learn about some new different modes and things like that that are there. Age of Imprisonment, this is looking great, better than ever. We got the release date finally. It has split screen co-op and game share, and we just saw kind of a hype story meets gameplay trailer, kind of like I was expecting. November 6th is when this will be out, and a big one for the beginning of November. November's actually pretty stacked month for Switch 2 if you think about it, but we'll get to one game that I thought was maybe another November title that is now confirmed for early December. But Dragon Quest VII Remake, reimagined rather, it's February 7th, and this was one of those teased games, I guess, with 7 in the title, and it is, the rumors were true. We got kind of some leaks around this one leading into it. The visuals looked great. They're definitely making it for the Switch 2 and taking advantage of that extra horsepower. And this is a nice one for Dragon Quest fans to look forward to. I personally have not gotten into this franchise, but nonetheless, it looked great here. And then Nintendo just goes off script and they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to bring back something we tried in the 90s that absolutely failed commercially, and we're going to give it to you as an add-on for the Nintendo Switch 2. The Virtual Boy will be back in 2026. February 17th to be exact, and the red and black visuals are all intact. That's literally what the games are going to look like, just like they did on Virtual Boy. And then you're going to be able to drop your Switch 2 into an actual Virtual Boy accessory that looks one-to-one with the original thing. Now, I'm guessing this is going to have an expensive price tag on it because they also are doing like a Labo 2.0 cardboard looking version of this. But yeah, Nintendo's not only going to sell you Virtual Boy as part of their subscription service in the modern day in 2026, they're also going to bring back the legitimate stand and glasses and everything to look at your Switch 2 up close and play it with that, so you can get those headaches once again in the modern day if you didn't get a chance to get them back in the day. Cannot believe that's coming. 17 different games I think they showed on screen that will all be coming as part of the roadmap. They're probably not there at launch, but they're pretty much going to throw most of the entirety of the Virtual Boy library on there, and it's just going to be part of NSO, which is kind of really cool to see. And way back in the day, we had some rumors that suggested that with Virtual Boy being emulated and worked on and stuff, and that panned out. But I will admit that I did not expect that to show up at this event, and it certainly did. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake is out early 2026, and this will be a cool looking horror, mysterious murder mystery solved type of game. I'm not exactly familiar with Fatal Frame, but it looked cool enough for the trailer that it was, and visuals were fine. An early 2026 Switch 2 game to look forward to. A Switch 2 edition mashup trailer hit, which I thought was going to be more first-party stuff. It was actually pretty much third-party stuff, where we got like a One Piece game that's getting a Switch 2 edition, Overcooked 2, Stardew Valley, which I know will be a huge one, Human Fall Flat, which is a game I wasn't familiar with, and then they went straight into like a detailed look at Power Wash Simulator 2. Hey, to each their own. If you guys enjoy that, that's fine. I couldn't care less about this game personally, but it's out fall 2025, and Nintendo spent a surprising amount of time on Power Wash Simulator 2. Suika Game Planet is out this winter for people that enjoy the, fruit puzzle game, whatever, that gameplay loop. You get the idea. You know what you're looking at if you look it out on screen. Okay, and then you have to get to, legitimately for me, the highlight of the entire Direct. And yes, this is a game we knew would be there, and it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't prepared for what we were actually going to see from this game. And we were talking about Metroid Prime 4, of course, because while I knew this game was going to be there, we were going to get the release date, absolutely, I still walked away the most shocked from this, because we saw Samus on straight up a Batman style bike, just legitimately like looking like a Samus spin-off racing game, but that is actually how she can traverse in Metroid Prime 4. And we saw a look at the most open looking environment we have ever seen in a Prime game by far. There were reports that this game would be semi-open world, or at least open zone, because of how massive the environments are. That now checked out with this footage that we saw. We also saw some environmental effects that totally put things over the top for me in terms of just how detailed the world and gameplay is. Samus was traversing through like this crazy windy area where a bridge was about to bust off, and she's literally holding her hand up to kind of block out some of the stuff that's hitting her visor. Not to mention the visor looks cooler than ever with that, the additional eye and the helmet and everything. And just, I cannot wait for this game. This literally looks too good to be true. She was dashing into enemies on the screen in the overworld with that bike, looking like Star Fox rather, just combat style, where you can target things as you're going, and then you just seamlessly like pull up to your next area you want to go through. You hop off your bike and you're in that new world. This game cannot come out soon enough. There is an asterisk with how excited I was about this, which is the fact that this was the last chance to see the rumored Prime 2 and 3 remasters drop. Those are not here, unfortunately, and I'm just not expecting them in the lead up to Prime 4 anymore. That is very unfortunate and disheartening for me, because I will just be playing those games, I guess, on the GameCube and Wii originally, and going back and enjoying them that way in the lead up to Prime 4. But I really wanted the modern enhancements, not forced motion controls on the Wii version of Prime 3. That's not happening, but what is happening is we get a December 4th release date for Metroid Prime 4. Finally, we have confirmation of a date that this game will be out after so many years, and it is a 2025 game. It did not slip to 2026. That is a huge win in and of itself, in my opinion. Okay, Donkey Kong Bonanza has DLC that is shadow dropping today. So you will have this available, paid DLC. I've not seen the price point on it just yet, of Donkey Kong Island Emerald Rush being the big new gameplay mode. That's out literally today. So you don't have to wait long for it. It's a pretty cool like collectathon gameplay loop where you can go back to all the previous levels and collect like different emeralds and stack up, you know, your amount of those and rank up and all of that stuff. And they had DK Island that's going to be like a whole area of it that you traverse. It is a smaller DLC from the looks of things. Like it's very much in the same core game of Donkey Kong Bonanza, but getting Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC confirmed and announced and shadow dropped was a pretty big deal. And I did not expect that. And if you don't own Donkey Kong Bonanza and you just want to check it out, there is also a demo going live on the eShop for free today that you can check out, which is awesome. So from there, we got into a Pokemon spin-off game that was also leaked ahead of the event. Now, we didn't know what the spin-off game would be, but the claim was that there was something that was unannounced that was a new Pokemon spin-off project that's here. And this is Pokemon meets Minecraft. And surprisingly, you're Ditto of all creatures, but in human form. And you legitimately are playing Minecraft, but with Pokemon. That's literally what it looks like. You can use different Pokemon's abilities to do different things within the world, which is kind of a cool thing. Like, I'd rather do something like that than play Minecraft for me personally, but very much resource-based gathering. Like Bulbasaur was able to grow grass, Squirtle's able to water things, obviously, and you have all types of other Pokemon that are going to come in and basically help you transform the land into what you want it to be and look like. And yeah, Ditto's just having fun out here with a ton of different Pokemon, living their own dream in Pokemon Pokopia, which we know releases in 2026, but did not get an exact date or anything like that. Then we got a super hype Legend ZA trailer that just showed quite a few Mega Evolutions. I haven't gone back and watched it to see what was all in there again, but like just tons of more Mega Evolutions. Really cool. Once again, look at the real-time battle system and all of that, and just kind of one of those hype mashup trailers. And surprisingly, and something I'm not necessarily a fan of, is seeing DLC announced for a game before the game is even out. It just feels like you're kind of probably holding back additional content at that point. At least that's what it feels like to me. But Mega Dimension is paid DLC. It's Raichu themed, and they didn't really go into detail around it, other than we saw Raichu kind of tease the fact that that's a part of the paid expansion for this DLC that will be hitting for Legends ZA. So we do know there will be expansions for Legends ZA, probably multiple if I'm guessing, and this was the first one they revealed to us, but we did get that confirmed at this presentation as well. Danganronpa 2 is out 2026. Don't really have too much to say on this one. Dynasty Warriors, which is kind of funny to show another Warriors game in the same one as Age of Imprisonment. And I think I mentioned Age of Imprisonment. If I forgot that in my notes or grazed over it. Anyway, Age of Imprisonment was there too. Split screen co-op game share November 6th. But back to Dynasty Warriors. It's Dynasty Warriors Origins, and obviously similar gameplay style, but just with the Dynasty Warriors storyline as opposed to the Age of Imprisonment stuff. That's out January 22nd, 2026, and it's fine. It's another Warriors game. I'm not super into those gameplay loops, but you know, I'm obviously picking up Age of Imprisonment more so for the story, but this one looked good nonetheless. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is out March 13th, so we did get the date for that. It's looking good. It's a nice game for Monster Hunter fans, the Stories variant specifically, and you know, this will be out early 2026 at least, so you're not having to wait too far into the year. We then got a mashup trailer with quite a few different games. I'll have it playing here on screen, but the really couple things that actually stuck out to me: Virtua Fighter 5 is going to be out in winter. We got Little Nightmares 3 October 10th confirmed, and then Persona 3 Reload just showing up here, coming to Nintendo Switch 2. That's out October 23rd with a demo available today. So that's kind of a big surprising one that I think was cool, and it was surprising just to see it show up there in that mashup trailer. And then we got to the Resident Evil portion of this direct, and this was actually a decent chunk of it towards the end, so the big third-party announcements. I thought we were getting Biohazard, which we are, by the way, but no, we first got a look at Resident Evil Requiem. This is Resident Evil 9. This is coming out February 27th, which is, yes, day one. This is hitting Nintendo Switch 2. This is the kind of stuff I like to see from a third-party perspective. We are getting to the point where we are seeing modern day, exclusively developed for current generation games also get supported on Switch 2 with a day-and-date release. This is a big promise of things to come in this generation, as many of us Nintendo fans have been waiting to be included in a lot of these third-party games right at launch or shortly thereafterwards. We've had to wait this whole time. This was a big confirmation, and not only are we getting that game out, but the same day, we're getting Resident Evil Biohazard and Village Gold editions, which no doubt, I mean, these were out as cloud ports for the Switch. These are native experiences, and they have all the content baked in. Big day for Resident Evil fans in terms of announcements here, because we got a way more detailed look at Requiem, and you find out that you get to play 3 games on the Nintendo Switch 2, all on February 27th. I'm surprised Capcom didn't space out those releases, because obviously a lot of people are going to overlook Biohazard and Village and just go straight to Requiem whenever it drops. But nonetheless, that was the big lead up and the show closer. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy for Fire Emblem fans, but this was a surprising show closer to me, and one that did end the direct on a note that felt like there was more that could have been here than what we saw, and definitely where I got more conflicted on the presentation overall, because we are getting a brand new Fire Emblem game, and it does look great if you are a Fire Emblem fan. I am just personally not as into this franchise. I haven't given it a fair shake, to be fair though, and this is Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and it's out in 2026. Visually, the game looks awesome. Tactical RPG, classical Fire Emblem gameplay loop, really cool cutscenes and story from the looks of things. You're going to have a ton to look forward to here if you are a Fire Emblem fan. Absolutely. That hands down, not the question. But yes, for this hour-long presentation, and I think when many people thought we would get something out of left field, whether that be a 3D Mario, even though, of course, I kind of gave up hope on that whenever Mario opened the Direct, or, you know, maybe a look at something Legend of Zelda coming down the line. Maybe Nintendo would tease something here that's not out until, you know, into 2027, but it was going to be a big show closer moment of a game to look forward to. Well, Fire Emblem fans walked away incredibly happy, no doubt. I definitely wanted something bigger to end the event on, but if you really think about overall how much we learned about Nintendo's roadmap of games and new lineup, I felt really good about this presentation. I also feel like it could have been better and more over the top. Also, mysteriously, Elden Ring was not here. That gets my wheels turning on, are we going to see it confirmed for 2025 in December last second? Or is this game pushed to 2026 following reports of really rocky frame rate and resolution, and, you know, basically the performance of the game in its current state? Is FromSoft maybe going to hold it back? It not being at this Direct kind of makes me think that's on the table. Maybe it's not. We'll have to wait and see, but really exciting overall. Lots of hype announcements. Virtual Boy NSO and Metroid Prime 4, the most hyped trailer ever, and it's out December 4th. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 combo pack coming out right around the corner on October 2nd. Brand new Yoshi game and all of that. There was a lot here, and so I walked away very satisfied with a lot of different aspects of this Direct. And then there's also that Zelda fan in me, and the fact that we haven't seen a fresh 3D Mario game in 8 years side of me that wanted to see a couple things more than what we saw here. But that's where I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video. What did you make of this Direct presentation? How did you walk away from it feeling overall? And are you excited for any projects we did not know about that showed up here? Were you surprised that a lot of the leaks that we talked about in the lead up to the Direct did indeed check out, like the Galaxy 2 remaster and Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition, which is another hype title for me? And what out of anything are you planning on getting and adding into your Switch 2 collection following this presentation? So make sure you share all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below before you leave, regardless if we agree or disagree. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, turn your notification bell. And with that, I've been Sunbro, you've been Nation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.